Well, welcome to the holiday season. It's a season of joy and celebration. And for a lot of people, it's a season of angst and stress when they have to go and think about what to buy for that parent or sibling that they don't really like, or trying to figure out how they're going to get home because they're supposed to be home, but they don't really want to go, they don't really want to travel, but it's sort of a family expectation. There's a lot of mishigas like messed up and wrapped up in holidays, and so in planning for the coming holiday next week, I've had a couple of conversations with people about what's going to happen when they go home, communication dynamics that happen in their families that make them uncomfortable or nervous, and how are they going to handle some of those things when they come up. And so, of course, we get into, because that's the work I do, solutions for not how to fix or change other people, but solutions for how to understand yourself, for how to ask yourself how you want to be in a situation, and to create the best situation or experience for yourself. Mind you, this is not easy. And one of the things that makes it more difficult is that people, I think, still have a bit of a kumbaya experience of their families. Like, if I just find the right way to act, the right thing to say, the perfect way to be, then my family will fall in line. They'll all act the way I think they should, and everything will be fine. So let's go back to the title of this little Facebook Live, which is, it's not about them. It's about you. And so, for example, in one case with somebody I was speaking to, there was I don't tell my father these things because he yada yada blah blah blah, responds like this, responds like that. And the person's trying to avoid dealing with that negative response. And so rather than what a lot of people do, which is to get stuck in like scripting and like, what am I going to do when he says this, and how am I going to act when he says that, and how do I handle this? It's sort of like the question is really, how do you feel about what you're doing? How do you want to be in that situation? Because that's a choice and that's a decision that's all on you, and it's thoroughly independent of these other people. But we just spend a lot of time like trying to psychoanalyze these other people, trying to think of the perfect thing to say to really control, manage, direct, or somehow fix these people or the situation. And life, in my experience of responsibility, just doesn't work like that. I have something on my bathroom wall that's like, it's about 100% mastery, which is that everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel is about you and being created by you. And you either come to understand this and then you come to understand power and mastery, or you're just moving through your life waiting for the next fucking thing, person, or whatever to control you, to control your emotions. Because think about it, right? It's November 17th. Thanksgiving is a week away from today. And there are people already spending inordinate amounts of time in their head trying to manage these emotions and these relationships, rather than sitting in maybe contemplation, meditation, and asking yourself, like, what is the way that I want to show up? Do I have self-acceptance about the way that I'm acting? Or am I like a little kid waiting to get around my family and waiting for them to say things where I'm feeling judged? And meanwhile, when you're feeling judged, it's because you're judging you. Like, when I'm worried about you judging me, it's actually like I'm judging myself, and I'm just waiting for someone to vocalize it. So it's like, if I'm okay with what I'm doing, which takes a lot of work to really be like, especially for example, with me, I make decisions that are sometimes impulsive. My family has to kind of sometimes feel like they're going hither and thither with things that I do. I work with a lot of people who are the same, very intelligent, but very impulsive. And then, I get to hear wise cracks about it. Meanwhile, no one over there is immune to their own like impulsivity, mistakes, poor decision making. But, I come from a family of bullbusters, right? It's all about sarcasm, and that's a way to sort of bond. But also sometimes it can be painful if I'm sensitive about it. And I am sensitive about my behavior because I am responsible and because I am looking at myself. So fundamentally, what is it really about? It's about you. And people keep seeking to have these, let's go to therapy, let's have a conversation, let's lay it all out on the table. Not everybody wants to do that. And the fact of the matter is like, I could come to the conversation with a whole bunch of stuff in baggage and lay it down. And like, I think I'm speaking Greek and someone looks at me like I'm speaking Chinese because they don't understand what I'm saying, because their perception of our relationship or their perception of a certain experience is just not what mine is. But the thing is I go like narcissistically bulldozing into situations like, this is how I feel and you need to hear me, as if that's recovery, as if that's going to make things better. And it doesn't. What makes things better is like, here is who I am. This is who I want to be, and let me lay it on the table, and then we'll see what happens from here. I'm going to be honest about myself, not honest about what I think you should be, but honest about who I'm being and what I want to happen in the relationship. And the results are none of my business. They're just not. And you know what? I'm a lot happier. And as a byproduct, almost all of my family relationships are extremely intimate, productive, useful, with a little bit of good holiday ball busting sprinkled on there for good measure. So happy holidays to y'all. Remember, it's not about them. It's always about you. And this is a good thing. Thanks for spending time with me.